Crashman, you copy? Romeo 26, Romeo 26, this is Crashman, you copy? Romeo 26, Romeo 26, meet me at Alpha Camp.
Good morning, family and friends, brothers and sisters, and all my subs and all my new subs. Thank you for subscribing. Sergeant OCD here. As you can see, my camp is a wreck. We had a storm come through here. Where I live, I got about 5 inches of snow. There's no snow around here. Of course, everything's wet, and this wood is wet, which is, I'm glad I brought what I brought. One of the things I want to talk to you about is in Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. Okay? So what is that? Galatians 5, 18 through 20 would explain that, but I'm going to just focus on, the meat. Immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, outbursts of anger, disputes, dissensions, factions, envy, drunkenness, carousing, and things like these, which I forewarned you, just as I have forewarned you, that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. So I go by Galatians 5:22-23. It's still windy. It's supposed to storm again tonight. So for you Navy people, I'm gonna batten down the hatches. I probably am going to move everything into the new shelter. I'm going to leave this Adirondack up, but there's some things I want you to be cautious about wearing this. It can be construed that you are one way or another. So if you don't like conflict, like I don't like conflict, the only time I wear this is out in the field, you know. One of the things I didn't really cover last week, or it didn't, I had a problem with one battery that would lock up the video. The audio would come through, which is kind of strange. So I'm going to have to review this since I forgot my other camera. Talked about adding the kangaroo pouch to this. So all you got to do is open up your pack, and then these clips you can extend or whatever, and put everything in there. Now, you know, I've got pockets here with portage and stuff. Just be cautious that something may fall out if it's loose. The other thing I brought from home is I use this basket to put in kindling, bark and stuff like that, so it'll dry out. I did want to go over this radio. Now, this is an AM/FM radio. It's also got a weather band and an emergency band. It's solar powered, and you could actually charge your phone off of it if you wanted. And it's got a little light here. Figure out how to turn it on there. And then on the bottom, it's got a hand crank. So if you haven't charged it, I kind of leave this in my car so that it charges solarly. But you may not always have the luxury of sun. The other thing I made yesterday when I was sharpening my knives, because it's pretty embarrassing when you can't cut cordage on a video, you know. So I was sharpening my knives, and I came across this log, and I'm like, hey, that would be a perfect Swedish torch. So I cut out the middle. I shoved some cotton rounds in there just to keep the bottom in there. put wire around it, put some kindling in there, bark and stuff from what was laying around my fireplace, and then I shoved one of these, shoved cherry bark in there, and then one of these things I made last a couple weeks ago. All this is chainsaw shavings, and then I wrapped it with cordage, dipped it in wax. So we're gonna fire that thing up. I wore my hiking boots today, and it's a little chilly. So a guy at work, he knows I do this type of thing, and he gave me 3 of these tins. Now they're hard to get open. They're from Snus or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's got a little seal in here that you could just take out, and then you could actually, I'm gonna put this in my, after I do some char cloth, I'm gonna put this in my hiking pack. So it's a little smaller than the outboard can. The other thing, I got 3 of those. The other thing I have in here is, I didn't bring it. Huh. Must be later on. But anyway, there's a guy that commented on these things I made, which I thought I had, but and he said he uses dryer lint, and I'm like, well, I've used dryer lint, but it doesn't last long, and he soaked it in wax. So I soaked it in wax, and it doesn't look good. It looks like a turd, but I'm sure it will work. I'll have to bring that next week. I was going through my bags and trying to put everything in, and I guess I left it on my bench. But I'm gonna get to a fire, and then we're gonna clean up this camp. All right, so I had it going. I need the log to go, not the debris around it. Anyway, but that's what this is about. It's about going out and learning to do these things that you don't know how to do, or you see on YouTube, because when the stuff hits the fan, that's not going to be the time to learn this stuff. You know, it's like, oh, I saw a YouTube video on how to do this. You may not be able to pull it up because there's not going to be any power, you know. But that's why I'm trying to teach you guys out here now. You know, I'm not an expert. I'm just an Air Force guy that kind of a jack of all trades, but you know, I know how to logically do this stuff. I'm an analytical kind of guy. So when it doesn't work, I need to find out why. And that's what I do a lot with some of these videos, is I try to find out why it didn't work. Because on their, you know, the YouTubers' channels, they, you know, get things to work in 20 minutes. It's just not that easy. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys. Their way is great, but there may be steps that they're not showing you. I'm going to show you all my failures, which I have. More than I want to have, but you know, it is what it is. Got this one side going over here. Yeah, so like, you know, one of the comments I had was a guy, he was ranting about, I guess, you know, the rapture, which is not in the Bible, and everybody knows that. You know, everybody that's a Christian knows that. It's, you know, being called up is what they call it, but every Christian calls it the rapture. I thought most people knew that, but evidently you know, he made a comment and I'm going to answer it right now, you know. All right. I'm just going to let this thing go. Should be getting air back from the other hole, but I'm just going to let it simmer for a little bit and get to the back of this tent or this shelter.
As you can see, this is ripping, man.
I'm not sure if I was using that tie off for something else, but maybe I didn't tie it around. That would be a operator error. So I also want to get some pieces to go across. I really want this wall like 3 more logs higher, but I think I'm worried about the pitch with, you know, we don't get a lot of snow here, but if we get a foot of snow, it collapses the shelter without having proper everything in there. So I am going to have to turn this canvas anyway because it's not enough, you know. It's just it's not wide enough. But oh, wait a minute. Oh, that was this. All right, so oh, it blew off and hooked on. Okay, that's weird. But yeah, like I said, we had storms here. So let me get to this. I got to find some logs today. What I need to do is get a log that goes from here to here because that looks like it's about a 30-degree pitch. I may have to put another log back here. I think that'll work. I'm trying to test it out with these, you know. If I do it right, I may be able to cut them at a 30-degree angle and pack them into this. That way there's nothing poking my tarp. We'll see. There should be some over here. That looks promising. Alright, here's one. Not too far from the camp. Got a little bend in it right here. I hope it works. So it started out at 30 degrees this morning. Right at that knot. And I'm supposed to get up to 44 today. Not really worried about it. I was at Ellsworth Air Force Base for 4 years. I was stationed there for 4 years, but wasn't there the whole time. You know how that deployments go. After I spent about 3.5 years in the desert. So that was a little much for me, but it's a little crooked, but I think it's going to work. there for another one. Saw this one here, but it's too crooked. Looks good. I ended up buying a cheap little tripod to get 2 cameras. So I had a rail and it was working out great. But no, I had to buy another tripod. Just a cheap $18 tripod from Walmart. And I like it. Works out really, really good. Especially when you forget your other tripod or your other camera. Last week it was funny. I saw the video and I sped it up, but I lost my camera for like 10 minutes. So I started this belt because most of the knives you buy, they don't fit an 1.5-inch belt. And I got to get another web belt to put these on. But this doesn't fit a web belt, but I have a way to get around that. And neither does the shovel. But this fits it fine. Just kind of testing out what I need. And if I'm not using it, I don't need it, you know. I'm happy that I found my Leatherman. That thing has been through many countries. Leatherman's about 38 years old. So is my Gerber. Alright, let's see what we got here. To get this shelter done so I can move everything over. It may be all I get done because it is long and I could work on getting the length out of it when I get more tarps, more whatever. But right now I'm gonna kind of segregate everything to the back in case I ever have to stay out here. You never know what's going to happen. Always have a backup plan, right? So that's going to be pretty close to what I'm going to need. I'm going to have to do something about the back. Because right here, I mean, you're going to have a, let's just say, sleeping bed about that high. You're not really going to need headroom here. So this is about as high as the wall should go. So I could work on cutting the angle off on this and any extra like right here. Cut this at an angle. should do it. Kind of lock it in your legs so it doesn't move. I like it. I'll do something about the back wall later. I could probably hammer a nail in there. Yeah, the reason I want to get this up is I got resources in that Adirondack, and although it held up, my tent stakes pulled out because the amount of moisture. I don't need that off. Everything's sharp, so you gotta be really, really careful. Get this thing started. Cool. Nail starts bending. It's a bit intimidating with an axe pointed at your face. See if I can get this in. What angle? You'd be surprised how spoiled you are with nail guns and things like that. There we go. So that'll work. Do the other one. So yeah. Nice. Yeah, a little mark. What I do? Chop up an inch. Right angle. I got yours. Dog up. I'm free way. I'm like, okay. You bring those? I bring those. See? Yeah. I'll team up that one. Circle down. Yep. So I got a little more on the side than that side. Really much of this. What I have to do now is mark it down. So I'm going to basically mark it on this, and then on the part, I think that side of the part that I had. Now mark these parts. Yeah, you know, your whole. I think the onion ones, larger ones. This one. I think that's longer. Let's go through time again. So this tarp is all the way in the bottom there, all the way at the bottom here. So I think what I'm going to have to do is do tent stakes again. So I have two. I was going to use them for my other shelter, but I've got to make some tent stakes, which you all know is time consuming. So I'm going to use this heavy one. Go ahead. Grab this one. Just a little bit, so I'll get it back up there. 20, go back. Don't deal. Hey, this way. Edge. So, we got a part again. Go ahead. Doesn't have to take. Go back. Go back here. Go again. Go right back. Not going down. Work back. You know how much strength going back. Going outward. Work back. Going down there. So even, not even, no, not even, still working off your arm part, and we'll get to the shoulder. And that's it right here. And we'll work on this one. Just wait. Here we go. Just takes that actually, that raises it off. There we go. Right. Now you can use that take balance. But take it up. That's me. Good one. It's already good. Got it. I have another one. Go ahead and hit. I want to do the same on this one. Right here. Right on, like this. That's your thing. I need to apply. That's what I'm doing here. That's what I had. Just a little bit. Just a word. There you go. This is the fiber. This will come here. Wow. I got in. And I got a couple times. Over here. I'm stuck in. What a day. So I came to the camp and Jesse's shelter was just destroyed. All of his stuff was out in the open. My shelter, the back pegs came out. I didn't even find the tent peg that he made. Gone. So I had to quickly turn this tarp 90 degrees, put some ridge poles in the back, or some poles to the ridge pole in the back, tack that down, tack down the sides, and then I put one on the back. That was actually my shelter. The tarp that was my shelter, and then I put that on the back, and then I put what was his shelter covering the wood, because I want to have dry wood when I come here. The bucket that had my wood in it got soaked, had about an inch of water in it, so all of my kindling may have got moisture in it, so I got all these bags kind of drying out. I used about 130 feet of bank line tying this stuff down. My sawed hatchet broke the retaining strap. My blow tube, my bellow tube, melted in the fire. Must have blown off the shovel and went to the fire. I didn't get a chance to make char cloth with this stuff. Not that I'm going to go hiking anytime soon. I did have sharp knives, so it's just been a day. You know, I have my plans, but God had different plans for me, and that's going to happen. So that's the way it goes. You know, that's the way it goes out here. Do want to tell you that don't buy a cheap shotgun. This is a Dickerson model, and I'm having problems with it ejecting. I looked it up. I wanted to bring it out here today and test it so I can pump real quick and put rounds into whatever that is coming at me, and it didn't work out for me. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more. But you know, God guides our steps. You might have plans for that day, but God has all these divine appointments for you. Open your eyes, open your heart, and you will see it. You know, I opened this video up with, you know, do not be of this world. But we're in this world. We don't have to just isolate our people, you know, like the Mennonites try to do. We can be kind to the people. You know, all the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. We can show all of that to the people. And that's what I live by, you know. I started this channel just to get my family out into the woods and learn how to do things so they can survive when I'm gone, when I'm called up. You know, I said the rapture before, and somebody called me on it because it's not in the Bible. Yeah, but that's, you know, our Christian word for it is the rapture, and all the secular people know that rapture means called up. But I got called out, so I'm going to mention it. The other thing I got called out on was, you know, the shavings from a chainsaw that I wrapped up and put, you know, wrapped up with twine and dipped them in wax and used that to start a fire. Well, some guy says, hey, you know, you could just use dryer lint. Okay.
So I tried the dryer lint, and I put it in wax. I didn't bring it today. I thought I brought it, but I didn't get a chance to bring it today. So next week, I'll bring that. And hey, I'm all for comments. You know, so comment if you want. You know, that's great. I don't mind comments. You know, I will answer every one of them. You know, I only have like 287 viewers, so, you know, and I thank you guys for watching me. I didn't expect that many. You know, this channel was geared at my family, so they would actually learn how to do all this stuff when I'm gone, because they're not going to be able to ask. So